Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Noor Azman bin Nizam. My register number is 06DKA20F2064 from class DKA1A. This video I want to talk about the top famous dinosaur that roamed the earth. For introduction, dinosaurs are a diverse group of reptiles of the clade Dinosauria. They first appeared during the Triassic period between 243 and 233.23 million years ago. Paleontologists have named nearly 1000 dinosaur generations and something interesting about each one. The objective is to interest the younger generation to know more about the creatures that have roamed the earth by providing general knowledge about the creatures which are dinosaurs. This is famous dinosaur that roamed the earth my map. First dinosaur is Tyrannosaurus, Tessiraptor, Velociraptor, Stegosaurus and Spinosaurus. Now, let me talk first about Tyrannosaurus type. Most people assume that the North American Tyrannosaurus at 40 feet from head to tail and 7 to 9 tons was the biggest carnivorous dinosaur that ever lived. T-Rex, however, was equal or outclassed by not one but two dinosaurs. The South American Giganotosaurus, which weighed about 9 tons, and the Northern African Spinosaurus, which tied the scale at 10 tons. The dinosaurs of the Mesozoic era obviously didn't brush their teeth off floors. Some expect being shot of rotten bacteria infested meat constantly locked in its closely packed teeth gave Tyrannosaurus Rex a septic bite, which infected and eventually killed its wounded prey. This process likely would have taken days of weeks, by which time some other meat-eating dinosaurs would have reaped the rewards. It's difficult to infer a dinosaur lifespan from its fossil, but based on analysis of existing specimens, paleontologists speculate that Tyrannosaurus Rex may have lived as long as 30 years. Because this dinosaur was atop the food chain, it will most likely have died from old age, disease, or hunger rather than attacked by fellow theropods. Except when it was young and vulnerable, some of the 50-ton Titanosaurus that lived alongside T-Rex might have had lifespans of more than 100 years. Next, Triceratops. Triceratops is Greek of three-horned face, but this dinosaur actually had only two genuine horns, the third a much shorter horn on the end of its snout. As dinosaur fans now, Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex occupy the same ecosystem. Forests of western North America about 65 million years ago, just before the Cretaceous extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. It's reasonable to assume that T-Rex occasionally preyed on Triceratops. As with all such anatomical structure in the animal kingdom, this thin flap of skin over solid bone likely serve a dual or even triple purpose. The most probably explanation is that it was used to signal other members of the herd. Next, Velociraptor. For a dinosaur that's often mentioned in the same breed as Tyrannosaurus Rex, this meat-eater weighed only approximately 30 pounds, soaking wet about the same as a good-sized human toddler, and was just 2 feet tall and 6 feet long. In fact, it will take 6 or 7 adult Velociraptor to equal one average size Deinonychus, 500 to match a full-grown Tyrannosaurus Rex, and 5,000 or so to equal the weight of one good-sized Titanosaurus. Although its sharp teeth and clutching hand, when certainly unpleasant, they go to the weapon in Velociraptor arsenal with the single curved 3-inch long claws on each of its hind feet, which it used to slash, jab, and disembowel prey. Velociraptor stab its prey in the gut in sudden, surprise attack, then withdrew to a safe distance as its victim bled to death. Next, Stegosaurus. Like many plant-eating dinosaurs of the Mesozoic era, Stegosaurus intentionally swallow small rock known as gastrolith that help mash up the tough vegetable matter in its enormous stomach. This quadruped will have had to eat hundreds of pounds of fat and cicadas every day to maintain its presumably cold blood metabolism. Stegosaurus did pose one relative advanced anatomical feature, extrapolating from the shape and arrangement of its teeth. Experts believe this plant eater may have possessed primitive cheeks. And the last is Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus is the current record holder in the world's largest carnivorous dinosaur category. Full-grown 10-ton adult outweight Tyrannosaurus rex by about a ton and Giganotosaurus by about half a ton. Spinosaurus pursued a semi-aquatic lifestyle and may have spent more time submerged in the rivers of its North African habitat than it did stomping around on dry land. The evidence the positioning of Spinosaurus was real towards the middle rather than the end of its snout. This dinosaur's small pelvis and short hind legs, the loosely connected vertebrae in its tail, and various other anatomical quirks. So now we have a knowledge about dinosaur that I have described in this presentation, which is about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus, Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptor, Stegosaurus, and Spinosaurus. The conclusion: the knowledge about learn the different dinosaur times and the different dinosaur that exist. Other than that, can learn how they survive, reproduce, and how they become extinct. So we know the type of dinosaur even we never at that time.
Thanks to the previous presenter, which is Azman. Hi, and Assalamualaikum to the Madam Daliza. My name is Muhammad Aziz Irfan. My matrix number is 06DKA20F2073 from class DK1A. Now, I will continue to share another 5 famous dinosaurs that roamed the earth. Introduction. Okay. The word dinosaurs is come from Greek word which is dainos, means terrible, and saurus means lizard. Next, dinosaurs also refers to the land-dwelling creature. Dinosaurs dominate life on Earth during Meso era in 226 million to 65 million ago. Their size are from those small as a chicken to over 100 feet long, and their weight nearly 100 tons. The objective in this oral presentation is to get interest to the younger generation to know about dinosaurs by providing them a general knowledge about dinosaurs. Okay, as you can see in this slide, this is another 5 dinosaurs that I want to share to you. The first one, we have Archaeopteryx. The second one is Brachiosaurus. The third one is Allosaurus. The fourth is Apatosaurus, and the last is Dilophosaurus. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, the first dinosaur, Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx was named means the ancient wings. This is the bird-like dinosaur that have a coat of feathers, a bird-like beak, and a wishbone, but it also retains a handful of teeth, a long bony tail, and 3 claws jutting out from the middle of each of its wings. This is extremely reptilian characteristic that are not seen in any modern birds. The point number 2 is the size of this dinosaur is about 20 inches from head to the tail and weight much more than 2 pounds, like the size of modern bird, which is pigeon. Next, Archaeopteryx feathers were likely unsuited for the power flight. This is because Archaeopteryx were structurally weaker than similarly sized modern birds. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So that I want to share to you guys, which is Brachiosaurus. This dinosaur have the long neck and the long tail. This dinosaur wasn't the biggest sauropod, which means giant four-legged dinosaur ever walked on the earth. Okay. Yeah, I will share with you. My first point is adult Brachiosaurus can live to be 100 years old. The bigger an animal, the slower an animal, which means the longer lifespan. The size of Brachiosaurus up to 85 feet long from head to tail and 40 to 50 tons. Next, this dinosaur is cold-blooded or homothermic metabolism. That means healthy adults might have reached the century mark on a regular basis. You can see in this slide, this dinosaur also featured cameo in the 1993 movie Jurassic Park. Okay, let's move to the another point. This dinosaur was once believed to be semi-aquatic. Naturalists speculated that Brachiosaurus could only have supported its 50-ton weight by walking along the bottom of lakes and rivers by thrusting its head out of the surface, like snorkel, to eat and to breathe. The third dinosaur is Allosaurus. Allosaurus more than Tyrannosaurus rex, or we call T-Rex, but faster and more vicious with serrated teeth. Okay. Allosaurus was the all-purpose predator of the late Jurassic period. Let's move to our first point. Allosaurus used to be known as Antrodemus. Okay. In the late 19th century, Allosaurus bounced around in the classification bins after its type fossil was excavated in the American West in the mid-1970s. This dinosaur was initially named Antrodemus, means body cavity in Greek, by the famous American paleontologist Joseph Leidy. It is significantly referred to the Allosaurus, which means different lizard. Move to the second point. Allosaurus was constantly shedding and replacing their teeth. Okay, Allosaurus constantly grew, shed on and replaced its teeth, some of which average 3 or 4 inches in length. Surprisingly, this dinosaur only had about 32 teeth, 16 apiece in its upper and lower jaws at any given times. Let's move to the another slide. Our fourth dinosaur is Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus, or this lizard, hatched out of eggs that were up to a foot wide. This dinosaur will likely grew to 70 to 90 feet long. Its neck towered above a wide body, which helped it graze on tall foliage, and their wings like 50-foot long tail. Okay, let's move to the first point. Apatosaurus hatching ran on their 2 hind legs. Okay, the tiniest straight marks were left behind but not front feet, conjuring up the image of 5 to 10 pounds. Apatosaurus hatching skittering on their 2 hind legs to keep up with the thundered herd. Let's move to the next point. Apatosaurus may have cracked its long tail like a whip. Paleontologists believe Apatosaurus had its long tail off the ground, and it's even possible that this sauropod whipped its tail at high speed to intimidate or even inflict fresh wounds on its meat-eating antagonists. Let's move to the next slide. This is our last dinosaur that I want to share to you guys, which is Dilophosaurus. Let's move to the next first point. Lived during the early Jurassic period. Dilophosaurus is that it lived in the Jurassic period 190 million to 200 million years ago. Not a particularly Productive time in terms of the fossil record. This means the North American Dilophosaurus was a relatively recent descendant of the first true dinosaurs, which evolved in South America during the Triassic period, like 230 million ago. Let's move to the second point. Healthy feet despite its weight. In 2001, a team of researchers examined 60 separate metatarsal fragments attributed to the Dilophosaurus and found no evidence of any stress fracture, which indicated that this dinosaur was unusually light on its feet when hunting prey. Okay, now we have a knowledge about the dinosaur that I mentioned earlier, which is Archaeopteryx, Brachiosaurus, Allosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Dilophosaurus. In the conclusion, knowledge about the dinosaur play a key role to the younger generation by developing evolutionary theory and other scientific concepts. It will pursue arise as a result of humanity in a curiosity to investigate how our world works and where we fit within the natural world we see around us. That's all from me. Thank you.